It's now time to tune into Folkways FM to see what July has in store for us in the heavens and the hedgerows. As far as I'm aware, the crew are currently moored somewhere near Dumbarton. So without further ado, let's try and pick them up. To July 2024's Almanac. Here is the oratory written circa 800 to kick things off. I wouldn't swap my tree haunt in Tuam Inver for a mansion. I've the stars to give me light, the sun or moon as companion. My cell's the work of craftsmen, known for providing shelter. The dearest Lord of Heaven is its architect and thatcher. I've no fear of a downpour, and no dread of battle's spears. Here, under the ivy bower, where I've found a home outdoors. That again was the oratory from circa 800, featured in the finest music, an anthology of early Irish lyrics, compiled and edited by Maurice Riordan. July, named after Julius Caesar. Irish, Ual. Scots Gaelic, Intucha. Welsh, Gufanaf. Cornish, Mis Gutherin. Manx, Jerry Sowry. And Old English, Afdera Letha. We've just passed the summer solstice, as you know, both summer's victory and defeat. The Oak King giving way to the Holly King, if you like that image. Much of these islands have been scorching recently this midsummer, this past week. Large brimmed hats required even when putting out the bins. My body is in no way built to handle heat, but it's a good reminder in regards to the sun at this time of year that by the time I read the sunrise times out for next month, that those seemingly endless summer days will be on the wane. If you woke up in Sligo at the beginning of July, you saw the sunrise at 05:04 and set at 22:10. Swansea 5:02, 21:36. And Sunderland 4:32 and set 21:46, giving days of around 17 hours at the moment. 17 hours under the sun. How will you spend yours? Well, you might like to have a go at being Mystic Meg, as on the 15th of July it is of course St. Swithin's Day, the day where you are meant to observe the weather and, based on your observations, make predictions for the next 40 days. St. Swithin's Day, if thou dost reign, for 40 days it will remain. St. Swithin's Day, if thou be fair, for 40 days it'll rain no more. So eyes on the heavens on the 15th. Unfortunately, we also have to contend with the dog days of summer this month. A dark period of this time of year, said to be rife with malign activity and madness. Who's been peeking through my letterbox? This is all linked to the star Sirius, the brightest star visible from any part of Earth, and part of the constellation Canis Major, the great dog, as I'm sure you know. This is why Sirius is sometimes called the dog star. In the summer, Sirius appears to rise and set with the sun, giving way to a curious summer partnership in humanity's poetic sensibilities. A much quoted few lines from Homer's Iliad reads, "Priam saw him first with his old man's eyes, a single point of light on Troy's dusty plain. Sirius rises late in the dark liquid sky. On summer nights, star of star, Orion's dog they call it, brightest of all, but an evil portent, bringing heat and fevers the suffering humanity. And even up to quite recent times, the dog days were regarded as an evil time. When malign influence wreaked havoc, people became ill, and dogs ran mad. Woof. On Friday, the 5th of July, we have the new moon. And on Sunday, the 21st of July, we have the full moon. If you've been listening to me for a while, or you're just knowledgeable on moon lore, you may know the name of July's summer moon. Across these islands, it's known as the thunder moon, water moon, hay moon, and the mead moon. July is a great month to try and spot the brightest band of our Milky Way galaxy. This is the collective light of the huge numbers of stars clustered around the centre of our galaxy, combined with the darker streaks made up of enormous clouds of interstellar dust. The core of our galaxy lies in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, which lies low in the south after dark. If you can, find a clear southern horizon. You'll need to get as far away from the lights of our towns and cities as you can, and here you can enjoy the spectacular sight. You should also be able to spot the bright and shining star Vega this month, which is high overhead at the moment. Vega forms part of the constellation Lyra, which looks like a small slanted box or parallelogram, and it represents the musical instrument, the lyre. For foraging, find cherry, cherry plums, raspberries, meadowsweet, red currant, wild radishes, horseradish, and elderflowers, the latter only at the beginning of the month. A great time to make some elderflower champagne, if that's your bag. July is said to be a lean time between the earlier flowering and the squashes that are yet to come. And although the weather has cooled off quite considerably, in honour of the past week that we've had those quite hellish temperatures, I shall read a section of Hardy's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. July passed over their heads, and the weather which came in its wake seemed an effort on the part of nature to match the state of hearts at the dairy. The air of the place, so fresh in the spring and early summer, was stagnant now. Its heavy scents weighed upon them, and at midday the landscape seemed lying in a swoon. Ethiopic scorchings browned the upper slopes of the pastures, but there was still bright green herbage here where the watercourses purled. And as Clare was oppressed by the outward heats, so was he burdened inwardly by waxing fervour of passion for the soft and silent Tess. The rains having passed, the uplands were dry. The wheels of the dairyman's spring cart, as he sped home from the market, licked up the pulverized surface of the highway and were followed by white ribbons of dust, as if they had set a thin powder train on fire. The cows jumped wildly over the 5-barred Barton gate, maddened by the gadfly. Dairyman Crick kept his shirt sleeves permanently rolled up from Monday to Saturday. Open windows had no effect in ventilation without open doors, and in the dairy garden the blackbirds and thrushes crept about under the currant bushes. The flies in the kitchen were lazy, teasing, and familiar, crawling about in unwanted places on the floor, into drawers, and over the backs of the milkmaids' hands. And here is a final 11 words from the diary of Dorothy Wordsworth from the 28th of July, 1800. Intensely hot, full stop. William went into the wood and altered his poems.